Hello, and welcome back to episode 5 of Get Busy Living. Today I have Art Plewka with me. Art is a longtime White Lake resident and the father of Lara and Eric Plewka, who both went to Whitehall. And today he is going to share his daughter's story with us.
Thanks, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to tell you, I feel like a really high-tech guy now doing this podcast. We'll see how it all pans out. But well, my daughter Lara was one of 3 young moms who were all diagnosed at the same time, Chris being one of them. And when they were 30, I think.
Angela was 29 and Lara and I were 30.
Yeah. And all breast cancer diagnosis. And that was came from out of the blue. Never saw that coming. Mm-hmm. And Lara was 7 months pregnant at the time with her second boy. She had a 3-year-old son already, Wills, and then she got the news that she had breast cancer, and started chemo right away. And while she was pregnant and she lost her hair, someone who had gone through chemo gave Lara her scarves. And Lara used the scarves and the encouragement from that other young woman. And when Lara went to return the scarves, she said, "Well, I don't need them. Why don't you pass them on?" So Lara did, and the light went off. And that was the beginning of Hope Scarves. And Lara knew the power that the scarves, with their encouragement, had for her, and she wanted to pass that on. So she founded Hope Scarves, and their mission was to make scarves available to women who were starting treatment, and along with the scarf would come the story of the woman, or in some cases women, who wore that scarf before. And that was the beginning of Hope Scarves. And as things went along, currently they've distributed more than 42,000 scarves to every state and 39 foreign countries. There are nearly 2,500 stories from women who those stories are attached to a scarf when they go out. And I should mention, Chris, that if anyone would want to submit your own story, there's a very easy process to do that, just by contacting Hope Scarves. And I think we're going to give all the contact information at the end of the podcast to do that. So I encourage you to consider that. There's a lot of power in doing that, and it's really appreciated. Hope Scarves has 70 partners in 28 states where the scarves are right on site. And 2 of those, very early on, were right in Muskegon. And so that's part of that. It's part of the support program. And a woman can get a scarf, and then Hope Scarves follows up with her, with the encouragement, with all of that. They've raised $1.3 million specifically in metastatic breast cancer research, and most of that has been matched dollar for dollar. And I should tell you a little bit about Lara. She had a way of getting what she wanted. I think maybe I started that because I probably spoiled her. But anyway, so she tried to get institutions, businesses, whatever, to match research money that she raised. And they said, "Well, we'd love to do that, but if we do it for one, then everybody's, we have to do it for all." So Lara's answer to that was, "Well, then why don't you do it anonymously?" So that's how it worked out. And so most of that money's been matched dollar for dollar. They started a couple of years ago, maybe not even 2 years ago, they started a new program with the same idea as the headscarves of capes. And this is for kids that are in treatment. And the child receives a superhero cape. And they come in different colors. I think there's 4 different colors. They're very cool. If you go on the website, you can see what they look like. But just an amazing program, and they have those. The capes are in 2 children treatment centers, one in Kentucky and the other in Indiana. But just like the scarf, you can go online and anyone can request a cape for a child in treatment. The amazing thing about the capes is that the receiving child family could have a story from a parent of the child who's gone through treatment, and a story of a sibling of that child who's gone through treatment, and a story from the child themselves who have gone through treatment, which I just think is an amazing, empowering thing. And I can't imagine, what it would be like if you had a child who had gone through treatment and maybe, too young for any kind of written language or anything, and to work with your child.
Right.
And put together a message to send to another child.
Yes.
Who's starting treatment. That's pretty amazing.
It is.
So that now is a big part of what Hope Scarves does.
I wanted to add one thing about Hope Scarves too. Being a donor of scarves, one thing that they do that I think is really neat is they periodically send me a postcard, and it tells me how many times my story has been shared.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's really neat to get that information in the mail.
Whoa,
so they do a great job of keeping in contact with donors.
Yep. And I've talked to women about this, and sometimes I hear, my story's not special, or who wants to hear my story? Don't hesitate to do it. It's a really neat process.
It is.
They lead you through a couple of prompts, a couple of questions, and you can do it over. I think you can do it over the phone too.
Yes.
Now you can do it online. You don't even have to complete a form. So you'll have the contact information for Hope Scarves, and you can do that. You can do that also. So that is. That's it. That's it in a nutshell. And in Lara's inspiration and through this her nonprofit was support with the scarves, the stories, but the research. The research is huge.
Research is what keeps us alive as metastatic patients, and without research, I wouldn't still be here. So I'm a firm believer in research and science.
Yep, and and that was a big thing that Lara was aware of when she metastasized. We didn't even know what the word what that meant. I mean, it was such a blow, and she lived a full life. I mean, that's what keeps me going, and so many other people going. The programs that continue with Hope Scarves continue in her vision that she had.
Absolutely.
And which was in a sentence, live a great story. Live a life that you love. And that's what she did. That's what I strive to do, and we'll talk about some of those things. Maybe I should mention this at this point. One of the things that she also did is she wrote a book that she completed right before she passed away. And this is the book.
Yep, I'll hold it over just a little bit more. There you go. Yes.
That
works.
Yeah, A Wonderful Life. And it's really
a hopeful life.
A hopeful life.
Yes.
A hopeful life. It's really neat the way she did it. It kind of breaks down into 3 parts. The first part is the stories of a lot of people that she interviewed on her podcast, whose lives were drastically changed, not through cancer, but through other events in their life. And it's a story of how they responded, and how they had hope, and how they lived a full life over the challenge. The second part is about Lara's life and how she lived her life. The third part has prompts to have the reader examine their own life. And I think it's just a powerful way to do it. And you can get that. I think you have to, I think you have to go through Amazon to do that. And when I talk about some of the things that I do, I'll mention too that I have the books available and some of those things. But so yeah, that's how everything
That's Hope Scarves.
came to be. That's the Hope Scarves story.
Mm-hmm.
Hope Scarves, in a way, was kind of Lara's baby, kind of her daughter that she never had. She wanted to have a daughter, but she got this going, and the people that she attracts and the people that run it now are absolutely incredible.
They do a great job.
They make me so happy to know that that's still going
on.
Yep.
They're definitely making her legacy
Yep.
continue on for sure.
It is. It really is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing Hope Scarves. Let's hear some of the other stuff that you do to keep going.
Okay. She is still an inspiration to me. I do things. I'm very involved with Hope Scarves. In fact, I even have my own Hope Scarves business cards that Lara made for me.
Nice.
Because I used to use her cards
Yes.
and write my name and phone number, but she said, Dad, you have to have your own cards.
Aw.
So she made me my own cards, and next to my name it says biggest fan.
Oh, I love that.
And one of the things that I ended up doing, actually it was in the fall of the year Lara passed away. Lara passed away in January of 22. And in the fall of 22, I found myself out on the West Coast and had never been to Yosemite National Park and had always been taken by the idea of hiking Half Dome. And I thought, wow, what an opportunity to do that in Lara's memory and to spread her mission, spread her vision. So I filled my pocket up with my Hope Scarves business cards. and I had to do it as a day hike, which was not my plan, but that's how it worked out. And so at 4:30 in the morning, I headed up the trail to hike up Half Dome. And I did that, and I spent a lot of time going up there and getting down and talked to I don't know how many people and heard their stories too, and some of the stories the things that had happened in their lives. And when I got to the top, there's a little flat part just before you start going up where the cables are to go up to the peak. And I came to the top, and there were a bunch of people there, and one guy turned around, and apparently he had been telling them about Hope Scarves and about Lara. And I got up there, and he turned around and he said, "There's the guy that's hiking for his daughter."
Aww.
And I literally had this audience at the staging area to go up Half Dome and told them about Lara, and it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. So one of the things that I did when I got back is I put together a presentation where I used Lara's video of her telling her story at some of her fundraisers and things. And I did a presentation, and to like chambers of commerce and church groups and book groups, and I would be happy to do that to anybody that would like me to do that. And then along with the story, I have the books there, and then I tell my story of Half Dome, and I have some slides and some things, and I talk about that, and we talk about Lara's inspiration about living a full life and all that stuff. So that's one thing that I'm involved with. And
I think I would just want to add to that. For those of you that don't know Lara, she loved the outdoors.
Oh, yeah.
And it didn't matter if it was swimming, biking, hiking, and she made it, she was intentional in spending time outdoors every single day of her life.
Yeah.
And so for her dad to do this hike in her honor was a huge thing, because he's living a great story like she would want.
Yeah, exactly. She, the last summer she was with us, she knew things were failing. She knew the treatment wasn't working. and she didn't want to go home to Louisville because she didn't want to miss her summer in Michigan, and she was in a sailboat race on White Lake, and it was such a good day, and she was so weak by then, and I was following in my boat, and just so worried about her. And it was such a good day, they kept adding legs to the race. So instead of doing 2 legs, they did, well, we're going to add this one. We're going to go upwind. We're going to go downwind. And I don't know how she did it, but
she wasn't afraid to do hard things.
She did. She did that, and it was pretty amazing. Another thing she was into was yoga. And every year I do a candlelight yoga event here in Whitehall. And we do it near the winter solstice because that's the darkest time of the year. And the intention is to be aware of a ray of light at the darkest time. That's always there. And we do it intentionally wearing very bright colored clothes because it's a celebration of the light that can be in your world when you need it, and also when you can be that light to other people. So that's a thing we do in December in Whitehall. Another thing I do, because Hope Scarves is very connected with the Kentucky Derby, because the home office is in Louisville, Kentucky. So I think coming up in May of next year will be my 7th Kentucky Derby night at the Book Nook and Java Shop in Montague, where we have just a ball. We have bourbon glazed ribs, mint juleps, live music, prizes for women wearing the best hat, Kentucky Derby hat, guys wearing bow tie, whatever. We have silent auction, and everything that we raise on that goes to Hope Scarves. And sometimes that's been matched too. So that's the thing we do the first weekend in May. And then the other big event that is really fun is the shirt that I'm wearing. I hope you can see it on screen. Outliving Cancer.
Yes.
And this is something that was started to give people a way to celebrate life by doing the thing that they are passionate about, the thing that they really, really like to do in their life. And by doing that, you're outliving cancer. And we've had, people do out gardening cancer, out sailing cancer, out golfing cancer, all kinds of things. And I always have a team living it for Lara, and the whole thing's organized online and that. But you can just do your own thing. It doesn't have, it's for the month of April. It doesn't have to happen on a specific day. It's just something during that month that you do, and you can through sharing that joy and celebration, you can support Hope Scarves, you can join my team, you can make your own page and get donations. Or if you have an idea, something you want to do. Last year we ended up doing cardio drumming.
Oh, fun.
Which I had no idea what that was, but it just popped up. And the next thing I knew, I was doing cardio drumming.
That's
and we
awesome.
had 3 different sites where we drumsticked on this ball and danced and everything. And that was part of our celebration of life.
That's awesome.
That we did on that. So
I have a group of girls in Laura Ritchie, and we always go hike Duck Lake State Park and go to Lara's bench. And
Lara has a bench.
Yes, she does.
We put a bench. Her favorite thing was the beach at Lake Michigan, and we spent a lot of time there. So the boys and Lara's husband Jay made a bench several years ago, and we took that out on the dune. And it's if you go up the stairs and go up and walk out, and then kind of go to the north. It's toward the north boundary of the state park, up high on the dune.
Yes.
And I go there and I'll sit and think of her. But she spent a lot of time, and she was a good swimmer also, which is challenging me. And I'm trying to learn how to be a better swimmer and do some things along that too. But she's been an inspiration to me and to many, many, many others. And I hope anyone that is interested, in being part of any of this, the local stuff, contact me. And
Yes.
they'll help.
And then Colors of Courage is coming up too.
Colors of Courage is coming up. This is the big fall event, and this is in Louisville. It's September 19th, and I think they broadcast that on Facebook or something.
I think you're right. I've watched it during COVID. I watched it online.
Yeah, and that's a big event. They have a bourbon pull and a dinner and music and everything, and we'll be there. My family will be there. My son and his wife Lindsay, and our 2 little granddaughters that they have. Lara's boys are old now.
Right.
Going to be a senior and a 3rd year in college, and they're doing great. And then my son and Lindsay have these 2 little girls. That's right. Naomi, I'm wearing your bracelet. So yeah, they keep us going, and we all live a great story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lara definitely left a huge legacy, and you are doing such a great job of just carrying on all the things that she cared about. And I know that that's also your way of coping and grieving, is just to carry her legacy on. And she's still challenging you to even be a better person, keeping you active.
Yeah. Well, she challenges me to keep a balance in my life, and she did that early in her diagnosis, because I was very upset, very emotional about it, and she sat me down one day and she said, "Dad, you have to stop crying because we have to live our life." And so I learned how to do that, and every time we came down there, she always gave me a list of things to do, which kept me occupied.
Right.
And she just inspired me. She's my hero. I keep doing what I do and striving like I strive.
I was always so comforted by her, and I were going through the same things. Like, she was diagnosed early stage when she was pregnant with Bennett, and 2 weeks later I was diagnosed. And we talked on the phone shortly after that. And I remember when I had my first surgery, she sent me a plant. And here she is, pregnant, going through the same thing I am, and she's thinking of sending me a plant. And then we stayed in contact, obviously, through the years and did different fundraisers together. And then she was about a year into her metastatic diagnosis when my cancer came back metastatic. And I'll never forget, she mailed me a shirt. And on that shirt it said, "Get busy living." And that's kind of been the words that I've ran by in my life. And just, I was always so inspired by everything she was going through. She always took time for other people.
She did. Yeah, it was amazing. I remember the last Colors of Courage she did, and it was COVID was a thing. And I was worried about her because she was so weak. Her resistance was so weak.
Yeah.
And she had spoke at that part of that video is in my presentation that I do. And she spoke. She was very weak. We didn't know she was going to come. And she showed up, and she got done, and she was leaving. And I was like, oh, good, she's gonna go home. And she couldn't make it across the room, across the hall. So she sat down, and a line formed. It was like, and I'm like, oh my God, all these people. And I was so scared that she was going to get COVID or something. But she sat there, and she talked to all those people.
Yeah, she's amazing.
So, yeah, and we're here spreading the vision and all of that, which is pretty awesome. Thanks for inviting me.
Yes, thanks for coming. So following the live portion of the podcast, there's going to be some pictures and then some slides with some information about Hope Scarves and other things, and information to Lara's podcast that she had, and also her book. So be sure to hang on for a couple minutes and catch all of that.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.